What do we do next?
Okay. Once you're clear, now you're ready to do some work. So now we're going to utilize our mind, and we're going to utilize our creativity, and we're going to utilize our voice. So the way we're going to do this, we need to reorganize our mind to a new framework. So my invitation to you is to let go of previous frameworks of communication, because I'm going to give you a framework that's based in science and natural language processing and English, and you're going to use that framework to communicate with the large language model. Okay, that's it.
And the large language model is
The large language model is the Claude, that's the AI.
the A.
That's the AI. Okay. So the large language model is the AI, and I'm also going to give you a step-by-step, all the terms, because I think that is worth a new explanation of for everything. And so we're going to reframe our mind and reframe the way we communicate. So again, the invitation for you is to let go of old ways of communication. Sometimes we're trying to be nice to employees. We're trying to be politically correct. Forget all that. It's time to get some stuff.
It's time to talk.
It's time to talk to AI. Yes, absolutely. Okay. And we're going to talk about basically three major factors, right? And how these three factors come together. And this is the methodology. This is the Hasan Method. One part is the AI ethics, which I'm going to integrate all throughout, right? You'll see how the ethics come into play in every prompt and everything that I'm doing. The ethics are evident. The ethics are very, very evident. And then when we look at the contextual files, this is where I'm going to give you the entire framework for it. And we're going to build that out step by step for everything. And then finally, the communication, which is the prompt. And then that's it.
The things you need to know right now is the Markdown file.
So what is a Markdown file? This is going to be for, first thing to let go of is that the concept of a Markdown file is difficult because it's not. I promise you this concept is very, very simple. It's simply a file. So you just imagine in your mind there's a file, right? It could be a PDF dish, it could be an Excel file, but it's just a file. It's an entity in this virtual universe. And this file is a .md extension, right? Word documents have a .docx or .doc extension. PDFs are .pdf, zip files are .zip. In this case, Markdown files have a .md extension, and it's simply an unstructured file type. It's an unstructured file type. And what that means is you could put anything in it. You could put computer programming language in it. You could put a database in it. You could put like an Excel table in it. You could drop images in it through ASCII characters, right? Because you have or hex codes, right? Will create those images at the end of the day. You can drop many things inside of a Markdown file. And so typically Markdown files are used in the scientific community. It's used in the data science community, right? So people that are dealing with large scale stuff. People that are dealing on the back end of AI are oftentimes using Markdown files to build out back end applications and cloud applications. Okay? In this case, there's almost no application for the consumer. It's just not a common file type. So if you're sitting there going, oh, holy cow, I've been in the business for like 25 years plus, I've never used a Markdown file. Well, you're not alone. The vast majority of business users have not. It is just a rare file type used for a very specific function. And what I simply figured out is how to design the Markdown file so that you can load it up into the large language model like Claude or OpenAI, and instantly it does the machine learning for you, right? And that's what we're going to be learning here is how to create that machine learning inside of that Markdown file. And we're going to use a very simple tool to do this. And the tool is called Notion. And we're going to be using that tool to create the Markdown file. And this way, the most complex thing you're going to have to do includes formatting for headings and bullets and lists, which I think everyone is kind of already familiar with. And then the next thing is going to be hitting an export button to export. I didn't automatically say Markdown as an option. So you're going to export, and then you're going to open a zip file. And hopefully you've done this before in business. I can't imagine anyone has not exported a zip file before. But I will walk you through every part, every step, one at a time. And then once we've done that, then what you're going to do is you're going to take that information, and you are going to you can upload. That's the other complicated part. You can hit the button that says upload. You're going to select the file. It sounds ridiculous, but technical complexity on this is like bottom of the barrel. Okay, this is as easy as it can be. But on technical complexity, what's required here is your intelligence and your creativity and your understanding and expertise in your business, your organization, your mission, and your purposes. What is a prompt? Okay. The prompt is your input into the large language model. It's your input to the AI. It's what you are saying to the AI. That is what we call a prompt. Okay? And that field includes prompt engineering, writing super prompts, and many other terms that are more advanced that we'll get into later.
Why is the prompt important?
Because that is how you communicate with the AI.
What happens if you have a wrong?
Then you're going to get bad answers back. Okay? So you put in garbage, you get garbage. Accuracy matters. 100% accuracy matters.
So knowing how to write the right prompt is going to guarantee the right
Yeah. Yes. As well as the Markdown file.
and as well as the right.
We want accuracy across the board. And there's just no reason not to have it. Right? It's because you're talking about you. Why are you going to mess up about you? Right? It's your project. You're the one who knows your project. That'd be weird if you didn't know your project. That'd be strange. So don't do that. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to structure the prompts as well. Every step of the way. Every step of the way. Thank you. I like having the questions. It keeps me on track. Okay. The example file for today is going to be for the new nonprofit organization. The organization is called the International Institute for Responsible Artificial Intelligence Ethics and Governance. I know it rolls right off the tongue. The website is thepolicies.org. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building out the entirety of the organization today. It's a little bit I started at lunch yesterday while I was just showing someone a demo on ChatGPT. So it was like less than 10 minutes of effort and you'll see exactly what I did. But we're going to use that as a way, as a starting point. So you can draft something anywhere and then you can take it with you anywhere and just keep going and going. So I'm going to show you that. And in this organization, we're setting up as a 501c3 in the United States. We're setting up as an NGO, which is a non-government organization in the Dominican Republic and here in Colombia. And we've got a few different programs that we're going to be running. One of them is the Dominican Business Center of New York, which is going to serve as a part Economic Development Corporation and part Chamber of Commerce to represent the Dominicans in the diaspora that are investing money back in the Dominican Republic. And we're using artificial intelligence and ethics as a way to organize this group of investors and to help them make better decisions for the planet and to really develop the Dominican into perhaps the world's greatest country, right? Let's run an experiment and see what happens. And then we've got another program that we're doing for Apprentice Worldwide Academy. And we're going to run many things for the Academy and Apprentice Worldwide through this organization as well. And for Apprentice Worldwide, this is an organization that's 10 years mature and that has been taking on senior leadership, right? Executives and other senior managers are mentoring the next generation of business leaders, the next generation of change makers in the world. And so there's a lot of activities that happen around the world from this organization. And that's all now being, powered by AI to really help everyone adapt to the newest, greatest needs of what's in the world. And then Maria started an organization a few years back that has an international presence called Pink Power Coffee, which has a combination of coffee and conversations about making a difference in the world, as well as empowering women, as well as getting women out of slavery, and many, many, many other amazing factors in that. So that's another program we'll be building out. Then we've got several sets of projects and things that are going on, including like protecting AI ethics for the world through an open source screen, right? A new program where we're going to have basically AI bots that are out to ensure to keep the world honest. Because there's a lot of scamming going on right now in the world, and AI is making it easier and easier for people to scam people. So as part of the responsibility of this organization is we are building out bots to protect mankind from those that are out to do harm in the world, right? In the way. We're sticking to the way. Bots versus bots kind of thing.
Yeah, so today we're going to show you this as an example of how to write further in the smart style that how AI completely give us everything that we need to set up institution of the projects that come with it, all the complexity will be taken care of, writing it not without separately as well. How to give AI the
Yeah. And I'm going to go a little fast because I don't care. And some of you like listening really fast. So I'm accommodating you. And for those of you that don't like it really fast, tell me and I can actually re-output this video at like a 10% slower speed. Right? No, I'm serious. Like I got the tool. Whatever you need. Okay. tell me. But this is going to be really fast because I'm going to chop the video up and I'm going to add more and more and more and more to each of these components later. But right now, I just want to make sure I get it all out and I get you as much as possible in as short a period of time so you can be successful immediately. Okay. And plus, you can copy paste stuff and you can pause the videos and read stuff. Alrighty. So here we go. Let's get organized real fast. So here we go in Notion. I have something called the policies organization. And inside of that, I've started a Markdown file. I've started a page for a mission statement. And I've started a page called Untitled. Okay, how am I doing so far in Notion? Right? And this is a group and I got to invite people to it, the board and all that stuff. But why would I do that until I've already built out everything? And what I'm about to do, let's see, so leave a couple blanks. What I'm about to do basically would take, typically for an NGO of this capacity to get up and running, it would be like 6 months. Like somebody would have to go out and get like one major funder to finance like 6 months of employment of a bunch of experts. And then they would formulate all these documents that we're about to put together and then launch this organization. And I'm going to show you how we can do this really now. It's a now phenomenon. Okay. So let's show you a little bit about the universe that we're building out. And I'm going to give you a quick overview of the Markdown file. For those of you that have seen this before, great. Here's another introduction. Here you go. So in the Markdown file, we're going to go section by section. And it's important that you understand because this is the framework of understanding what you're seeing. First is to explain that the purpose of this Markdown file is to provide you with the contextual information needed to provide me better outputs to my prompts. It's very important to understand that we are speaking directly to the large language model, and we're going to speak to it from a context of entity to entity. Okay, this is the first thing in your mind changing. Some of you start thinking about your business third party. You start thinking about the AI third party. No, entity to entity. You aspire to this AI. That's it. That's what your Markdown files and your prompts all need to have that context of communication. So I'm being very direct. There's no extra stuff. There's no extra fluff, nothing else in it. Now, this is the sequence that makes all the difference. So please don't change the sequence. That would be silly because I've tested it. That works 100% of the time. Keep this sequence. There's some base instructions, which is what we're in right now. And to letting you know that, hey, in this document, you're going to find things like headings, body text, this bullets, this numbers, and other common items. Right? So now I've established a context that this is going to be a text document with formatting because it already knows it's going to be textual information. Then I say that it's going to be base instructions. The headings here, and because of the way this is organized, it also sees that all the formatting matches up.
The one that is.
Exactly. And keeping the formatting is very, very important. So please don't mess up the formatting. Your headings matter. And in Notion, you can just click on this little guy and then you can see what headings it is. Because if you can go into turn into, you can see this one's a heading 2 already. Okay. We've got our base instructions, which are going to include a glossary. This will allow us to give us more contextual information about our projects, our initiatives, our expertise, whatever it is. So this way, it doesn't matter if you're an inventor of a product, you're import-exporting, you're doing something in supply chain, you're in banking and finance, you run a hedge fund or you're an artist, it doesn't matter. We're going to use the glossary to create that contextual understanding of you and your universe. Next up is an executive strategy. And I think for everyone that's one of my students, that's like a very common term that you've used. What we want to do is do a really, really, really good job at our executive strategy. Summary. So next up, what we have is our executive summary. So you just want to make sure you do a really, really, really good job on your executive summary.
To explain what it is.
Yeah, to explain what it is. You got to give the machine some sort of introduction. It doesn't know anything about you. So this is our chance to introduce it. First, we give it some definition so it expands its own understanding of those terms. Then we give it the executive summary. And then we give it a strategy. Hey, here's what I'm doing. If you don't tell it what you're doing, how will it know what you're doing? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Right? So we want to give it that strategy. Then in section 2, now we're really introducing ourselves. Now what we're saying is this is who I am and this is what I'm doing. This is your chance to establish all of the important information about you. So Maria, like earlier today, you were saying you need to write new bios for yourself. By doing this in the contextual file, you'll be able to generate a bio instantly for anything and everything you need at any time. Does that make sense? You'll have no limitations. And
because it's almost like replicating what you know about yourself and the company projects and giving it to super computer to be able to give you better parameters. Whatever you want.
Yeah, all of it. You're exactly correct.
What if an output parameter?
All right. Section 3, the output parameter. The output is how the system is talking back to me. Right? So I'm going to tell you how to talk back to me. I'm going to say what the target audience is of the communication, right? So if I'm speaking to a university professor versus a college student versus a CEO of a company versus the prime minister of a nation versus whomever, I'm going to be very, very specific to who that audience is so that in that communication, the output that the AI is providing me is magically delicious and on point.
Correct and
correct.
accurate.
And has that tonality and has the casualness or the formality and everything. So those are the output parameters. And then the confirmation of understanding is to validate, hey, did you actually understand me? Because if you didn't, you'd give me something else.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? And I'll show you that why that works as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is super duper.
So making sure you're not having a hallucination.
Well, yeah, to reduce the hallucination by 99.9%. Right?
And what is AI?
AI hallucination is when the large language model is processing your prompt, it comes back with an output that is no longer aligned with the truths and the information you've provided it.